Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session of this lovely LinkedIn Live. This live is brought to you by Zeneesha, which is an HCM and finance consultancy for Workday across UK, EU, US, and other parts of the world. So today we are looking at the benefits of AI in HCM. Uh, and we all know how AI has been making inroads in the past few years, isn't it? Some of us think AI is the next big revolution, while others might think it's more of an intrusion. Whatever sides we are on, AI and humans, these are often looked as antonyms. We are on two sides of the bridge. But I'm sure a lot of us have wondered what happens when the two meet, isn't it? And you may have seen those very famous visuals, very popular visuals of a handshake between a robotic arm and a human hand. So I'll leave you with that thought. And to understand the immense untapped potential of this synergy, please allow me to introduce today's guest. He's a seasoned Workday consultant, an HCM expert, and above all, he's a fantastic human being. He's always there to share his knowledge. So please welcome Lax Deen Dayalu. Welcome to the show,
Hello.
Lax.
Hello. Hi, Rishi. Thank you so much for having me today.
It's always great to speak to you, Lax, because whenever we have interacted, I've always taken a lot away from the interaction. So I hope the same happens for everyone in the audience today.
I'm glad to know that, and I take a lot from you too. Thank you.
Thank you. So for everyone who's watching us live today, please use the comment section. Lack is a fantastic person. He's deeply ingrained into HCM, so he'll be able to answer all your queries around Workday HCM or how does AI and HCM integrate. So please use the comment section, and we love to take your questions as we move along. So, Lex, I don't want to go wrong on this because I'm sure you are wearing many hats when it comes to Workday, when it comes to HCM. Could you please give a little glimpse on your background?
Of course. Yeah. I call myself as a HR systems person, right?
Hmm.
Before calling myself as a workday consultant or an architect, right?
Uh-huh.
That because my growth has been throughout different ERPs, mainly into the HR function, like call
Hmm.
it as PeopleSoft or JD Edwards or Oracle HRMS, right? And then Workday has been for last 10, 12 years approximately, right? Multiple hats in that, like
Okay.
started as a consultant, worked as analyst in quite a few different customers directly. We call it as captive centers, and also worked with uh, partners, worked in implementations. Uh,
Hmm.
right, so the landscape has been huge. So I've just started from resource planning until probably retirement modules, extensions built into the
Yeah.
different systems, right? And Workday has been really kind to me. The ecosystem has been really kind to me. Has gathered a lot of insights, but still
Hmm.
learning a lot. Never ending process, as we all know that. Yeah. So at this moment, I call myself as a Workday solutions architect more than
Okay.
anything. But I've been built offshore models, on-site offshore models, support mechanism for Workday, and also product analysis. Right. So multiple hats.
Fantastic. So, I mean, I'm sure everyone in the audience would love to know from the solutions architect about what's happening in the world of Workday with special focus on AI in this conversation today. So, I mean, talking about AI, we all know how AI has been getting inroads into almost every possible industry today. Could you share some statistics, some numbers, and paint a picture of where we stand today?
Of course. Yeah, coming to the stats or probably the numbers around it, like first thing is there has been substantial investments going into the AI, artificial intelligence in HR sector, right?
Hmm.
I mean, you can't even imagine, right? 50% of the organization, just imagine the whole globe, are already increasing their investments in AI. When I say increasing, which means they're already in the rudimentary states of AI, they already use it because it's
Yeah.
inevitable now. We have AI in our WhatsApps too, so which means they're already using it.
Yep.
They're increasing their investments in AI already. And
Hmm.
then the trend reflects that the growing recognition of AI, right, and its potential, right. Probably the early stage, we always had a mindset of okay, GDPR, personal data, privacy, etc. But I think now they are realizing the potential and how it can help the HR professionals to upskill and use AI to their best of their effects.
Hmm. I mean, that's lovely. I mean, the first thing that you said is 50%, and that's a huge number, I'm sure, when we're talking about its
Of course, of
global
course.
reach. But then
Yeah,
going beyond these
and
numbers, yes, Lex,
mhm. Yeah,
please.
I mean, in addition to that, right, approximately like 40 to 50% of leadership, right, they
Hmm.
are already leveraging the AI, right, with the analyticals and the predictive analysis, which is the buzzword, or it's not a buzzword, it's actually working for most of the
Yeah,
large organization where
yeah.
they have a big chunk of data already built for last 10, 15 years. So
Hmm.
more than 40% of leadership is already using AI in HR space.
Fantastic. And oh, I mean, that's amazing to know. And I think as we speak, these numbers are just going to keep increasing, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, definitely.
Uh, but I mean, beyond these numbers, can you elaborate how AI is actually transforming the core HCM functions? Because, uh, like I mentioned before, AI and human, they are actually looked at two ends of the spectrum, but there's a lot that can happen when two come together. So, I mean, beyond recruitment or beyond, say, performance management, L&D, employee engagement, all the core HR functions, where do you think AI is actually transforming this whole HCM?
I like the question because you logically kept recruitment out of this because
Yeah.
because it's obviously it's an obvious front runner for this AI, right? With the generative AI and the text-based
Hmm.
generation, recruitment cannot be kept out. That is the one which is generating business
Correct.
in AI for HR. But we can keep it out because that's not the only function which is
Yeah.
being impacted or which is being affected by this AI, right? So we have quite a few areas which we can think there. The starting with a simple employee experience, a landing page of an employee can be
Hmm.
transformed based on AI. Say for example, I'm based on, say if I'm a manager, I see a different thing, and the employee I see a different thing, and
Yeah.
gives a prompt check-ins, right?
Hmm.
I mean, give prompts to take time offs if there are like
Hmm.
country specific holidays coming in. It can actually prompt and say that you have holidays coming, why don't you go and take time off or something like that, right? So
Yeah.
very user experience is being the primary objective of each one of these ERPs, right?
Hmm.
And when we move away from that, like the most obvious thing in AI in HR is the generative AI, where the text development for, say for example, a job description or a performance based check-in text which we need to put in uh, can easily help the business, right? Business struggle to build
Yeah.
a spine of HR, which is nothing but the job catalog, right? So it can easily help. And I heard, I was actually reading something, and it says the AI can generate bias in performance text which manager type in. So
Okay.
I mean, people has to read. I mean, at least generation is automatic, but reading has to be manual. So it makes nice to for the employees to read and be positive about it.
Yep. I mean, that's interesting to know that it actually creates that bias.
Yep.
Uh, I mean, so we were talking about HCM in general and AI and HCM in general. Now let's shift our focus to Workday, because Workday, like AI, Workday has been in news very recently as well. I mean, two of the biggest news that we get to read in the UK about Workday is that one, it is the latest entrant in Fortune 500, in spite being a very young organization. So that clearly shows how aggressive they must be in their growth. And the second news is they're investing billions in the UK. So I think these two things show how confident they are of where they're heading, isn't it?
Of course, of
So
course.
of course they must be investing a lot of time, effort, and money into uh, backing all of their operations with AI, right? So can you walk us through some specific examples? I mean, it could be as simple as a chatbot or talent insights, and how that is benefiting HR professionals today.
I see it as two segments here. One on
Hmm.
the real world example which AI offers in HR space, and also what Workday is offering, what Workday is
Yeah.
planning. The plan of Workday is really good. I mean, it's really massive. They have just put both foot all together, saying that okay, this is the future, and then they're investing big time in generative AI to start with,
Hmm.
right? And then they're start I mean their data model which they built for last 10 years is robust. They call it as
Yeah.
very robust, secured obviously, and also it gives very high quality data, because the
Uh-huh.
data is everywhere but the quality is lacking, right? That's why we see when I go to Facebook or market, some of the marketplace, I see random things. That's because the data is not great there. It's a raw data. But when it comes to the ecosystem within Workday, the
Hmm.
tenants, there are three sets of data they're working on. One is the data which is generated within Workday, right,
Yeah.
as through the transactions and how the customer behaves during transaction. And they also go for a proprietary external data to
Hmm.
build models, right, and all, which can be built domain based models, right?
Yeah.
Can be a oil and gas customer, can be education based customer, right, or can be a financial institution, right? They can build models for each one of them. And also they also get proprietary data from outside to build tenant based, like customer specific, right? There
Yeah.
can be a education institution which is a school, and there can be education institution which is probably a university or something, right? So they can build
Hmm.
models within that. The
Fantastic.
challenge probably they would need is they need a lot of stories to build the models from the customers.
That's
So
true. Yeah.
and obviously the ecosystem is customer friendly, and then they listen to customers. So I think they will do big time in Europe, if I'm right. So I
Hmm.
think they're in the right direction.
Fantastic. Uh, so from what you were just saying, I think there's a lot going in when it comes to personalization. So one size fits all is no more going to be the case, especially when with AI in picture.
Yeah.
Uh, that is on the tenant side. Let's talk about the employee side, which is I think equally important when it comes to HCM. So there have been certain promises on personalizing employee experience in this whole journey as well. So how do you think AI would contribute to this hyper personalization?
Yeah, I like the word hyper personalization, because I wish every customer would be happy if we could personalize by employee.
Yeah.
The AI, the direction of AI itself is pushing through identifying the individual's interest and then show the
Hmm.
right thing in front of them, right? And then, to be frank, Workday already did it. They have a very good personalized homepage. They call it as, right, homepage of the employee,
Yeah.
right? If I log in, I don't see certain things. If my colleague logs in, he sees something else, right? Because the things which he sees is of his interest. The things which I don't see is like I don't care about it, right?
Right.
There are fundamental. I don't want to take this example of gender. Of course, you can differentiate things to show based on that,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Just to connect with the audience. It's easier. Like, say, if I'm male, I don't see certain things. If I'm female, I don't see certain things, right? And then uh, eventually, if you want to see some kind of a pension related information on your landing page, or you're working on projects where there are a lot of contracts, and then the other colleague is working in different department, maybe operations, which he doesn't mean to see, right? So they're
Yeah.
very personalized landing pages they have built in, and they're working, right? And they clearly mention that they have given a consent to customer that they are collecting data for their ML, for the
Okay.
machine to learn further. And I think personalization is one of the roadmaps they have, and they're already into it.
Lovely. So on one side there are tenants, on other side there are employees. Uh, Both are, I think, walking on the same bridge, which basically means there are a lot of stories that are coming in every day. Some people look at it stories. A lot of consultants, a lot of experts look at them as data. and today data is as good as a currency, isn't it? So uh, the when you look at it, there is vast amount of data being created in this exchange. So with AI's analysis powers, I mean AI analyzing this whole vast amount of data, how do you think HR leaders can they can leverage this information and take more data driven decisions?
Yeah, I mean, more data is good, right?
Yeah.
And more data is good. More
Hmm.
data, more good quality data is very good, right? If you
Yeah.
have less data but very high quality, Workday says that is also good too, right? Doesn't matter that we have very less data, but if the data is of high quality, if it is segmented nicely in different dimensions, it's good.
Yeah.
And what it can lead to, right? Forget about all this sophisticated AI and ML. So you just have a spreadsheet of data, and if it is of high quality, if it is relevant and real,
Hmm.
from the human eyes, we can make up some analysis. We can predict something. This is the trend, right? And predictive analysis is what we are driving towards with all this data. Nothing but we can be able to predict the future, right?
Yeah.
Chatbot does say that they cannot predict the future, but they can definitely aid on decision making, right? Because the trend, the growing trend, or probably the declining trend, is very obvious for the human eyes, and it's all about picking up the stories, and that's where the ML, the machine learning,
Hmm.
keeps learning about the trends and pushes back a decision making point, 1 or 2 points, or maybe 10 points to the leadership, saying that
Hmm.
okay, this is what you need to look into it. Right now, most of the leaders with the different set of predictive analytics charts and graphs and stuff, it's about the decision action which they are not able to infer. They can infer what they can infer, right?
Yeah.
But with ML and AI, with the data model we have,
Hmm.
the data story can be given as actual story, saying that your turnover ratio looks to be really good, right? So which means your employee experience is good, they're staying back in your company, or your turnover is really bad
Yeah.
and you are going towards a fall, right? You need to work on employee experience, so you can give that story, explain
Yeah.
nicely. Yeah.
Hmm. Fantastic. We have some questions coming in from our audience, but before that, I'll take a question that's been lingering on my mind since you were saying this. We usually call Workday as an ecosystem
Yep.
where a lot of external there's possibility for external integration as well.
Yeah.
Uh, so have you seen any Workday integrations with AI solutions from I mean from something which is outside Workday ecosystem?
Yeah, yeah. Of course. I mean, Workday as a system itself is built for integration. I keep telling it to everyone, and of
Yeah,
course, every ERP is like that, right?
yeah.
But Workday stayed away when they got a chatbot within Workday, which is called Workday Chat, um,
Hmm.
which is meant for a middle customer who cannot
Okay.
offer enterprise level chatbots, right? And you have a large customer who can offer for enterprise level chatbots.
Yeah.
Workday simply integrates this chatbot with your Teams, Slack, or probably Workplace, right? So the employee or the end employee simply interacts with the buddy in the chat, saying that okay, I
Mm.
want to raise this HR request or something, and then they just get the link immediately. It used to be sophisticated ServiceNow or Jira based knowledge content
Yeah.
earlier, where you find difficult to go through the PDF to find the link. Now it just throws up the link in a minute. So and it is on phone. Just imagine, right, with the chats and stuff. So very much integratable, and I've also already seen it's being integrated well, really well.
Lovely. And what are people saying about it? How are they responding? Any first reactions to that?
There are two sets of people I always talk about. One is the HR world, right,
Yeah.
and one is the employee population, employee and the manager population.
Yeah.
It is mostly indifferent to employee and managers, right?
Okay.
because because I always tell this stat, like they probably log in 12 times in a year to see their payslip, couple of times to ask for vacation, and once
Yeah.
for checking their performance, right? So the interaction, you have to increase the interaction with your system, and
Hmm.
whenever they interact, that whatever number of times, you like 16 times you are talking about, we have to make it really um, interactive, right? So I'm keeping away that population. So I'm talking about HR population. They are excited. They're very much excited, mainly because it reduces their operational
Hmm.
struggles, right? The number of queries they get from employees every time somebody wants to look for a policy, they ping, there is a HR ticket, and it takes time to solve, right? These kind of integrations with your day-to-day uh, workplace applications like Teams, I mean, it simplifies, right? And then they need not go anywhere else. It's right in front of you.
Absolutely. Let's take a question from the audience.
Yeah, sure.
You've already touched base about this, but I think we would love you to deep dive into this. So we have Ranjan asking a
Absolutely.
question here, saying, "How will AI contribute to a more personalized experience for employees across all touch points in their journey?" So I think you spoke about logging in 12 times plus for the play slips, then moving to the performance review and asking for vacation. But I'm sure there are more touch points than that. So if you could
Of
elaborate
course,
that, please.
100%. Yeah, I mean, to put specifically to this question, right? So let me take the generative AI stuff, which is very obvious for most of us, right?
Hmm.
I want to prepare a job description for my team member. I'm hiring someone in my team,
Hmm.
maybe an
Yeah,
engineer or someone. I'm trying to build the job description, and I'm going to build in the language which I know. And generative AI is probably taking the translators away. I'm sure it's not taking away, but it's
yeah,
taking away for a bigger time. Even the translators probably start using AI to build
correct.
such a huge document, right? So what happens is, if I want to publish the same job description in 5 languages, you're already there. You have it within the system. That's the beauty of
Correct.
AI within Workday or even whatever ERP you're talking about. I
Hmm.
have, in a one button click, I can generate in different languages. I need not break my head, right? And machine learning, that's where the relearning happens. So even if there is
Hmm.
some kind of a mistakes, it always keeps learning. You just need to feed that you're generating it wrong, right? And Workday has this mode of relearning also. And to touch upon some finance stuff, say you have complicated contracts documents, you'd have heard about like pages and pages, probably 80 pages or 90 pages or maybe more. It summarizes your contract documents very easily. You to look at, you ask them, we are all using chat gpt. If you say that, can you show me 10 negative points in this contract, it's going to show it to me. Can you show
Yeah,
me 10 positive for me, it is going to show it to me.
correct.
Is it going to miss 1 or 2 points? Yes, it is going to miss 1 or 2 points, and that is where the
Hmm.
human intelligence comes into picture.
Correct. Absolutely. So I think AI probably at this point will not be able to replace humans, but probably to enhance human capabilities, if I'm
Absolutely,
putting it the right way.
absolutely.
We have a question from Keshav. He's talking about something that we just touched upon a while ago, but then specifically for HR leaders, uh, how can they leverage all of these stories, all of this data to make their life easy or to take more informed decisions?
Uh, I mean, the future is predictive analysis that we discussed about it, right?
Yeah.
Keeping away generative AI and stuff. When we come to leadership, it's all about the bird's eye view which they want to see. It is
Hmm.
bird's eye view, right? But I want to see that rabbit right under my eye, right? I don't want to see anything else, and that's how a bird
Correct.
sees, right? I think it is all about how we build the data, right?
Hmm.
Uh, the traditional ERPs, right? The data models, the database tables, or it was complicated to build for analytics earlier. So we
Hmm.
needed a third layer to build analytics and then bring in the dimension of data and stuff. But Workday is already set with the data models available, right? So it is built for analytics. I think we discussed in the earlier interview also, right? It was built to analytics, and then the analytics is built for leadership, right? And
Yeah.
it is about the stories which they need to look, and which generative is anyway going to help getting that stories.
Fantastic. Great. So, Keshav, I hope that answers your question. Moving to one more question from the audience, we have Mr. Rajesh Kumar. It's a very interesting question. I'll read that to you and put it on the screen as well because it's quite big. But then it says, can we talk about how AI supports organizations in identifying skill gaps? That's one. And facilitating proactive employee upskilling and reskilling programs. So, three things to touch upon: skill gaps, facilitating proactive employees upskilling, and reskilling. Over to you, Lax.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's a really a good question, very intuitive. And of course, there is an answer because Workday is working on AI and ML on one
Hmm.
side, and they are building up a big times skill cloud, right?
Hmm.
On the
Okay.
other side, which means a global cloud where they're generalizing the skills across. They're working with all the customers who has given them consent. I mean, which I'm sure like more than 2,000 customers participating in that, so that there's a big skill cloud available.
Okay.
All we need to do is take it to our business, right, and try to superimpose both of them with our available skills. And
Okay.
then what skill cloud can provide along with the AI capabilities is the skill gap analysis. So
Right.
the word itself is pretty self-explanatory, that what I have as a skill in my organization and what is that is needed for the market, right? And
Hmm.
then it actually superimposes. And what happens next is the integration between learning, integration between your resource planning, all are
Hmm.
flowing in as an ERP, right? So you have find a gap in your skills. You either go to the market in recruiting to hire them, right, which
Yeah.
your resource planning can help, right? Whether you have some other employee set of employees sitting with the skills, partial skills, and then
Yeah.
push them into the learning and development to probably go for training and learnings, right? Yeah, so that's how it works. And I mean, big investments on the skill cloud, and also artificial intelligence based skill cloud.
Fantastic. So we looked at, I think, the same elephant from multiple angles right now. We were looking at it from the tenant side, from the employee side, from the HR side, from the leadership perspective, from the market perspective. We looked at industries in general. Just for audience, since we are towards the end of the live, if you have any questions, please let them. You can post them in comments, and I'll take it to Lax on your behalf. Lax, I think this next question that I have is uh, very generic, but I think this could be a very, very long answer because uh, I think there is no end to this answer because everybody would want to look at it from their own perspective. But then, from what I heard from you, I'm sure there's a lot to explore. There's a lot of positive outlook towards it as well. A lot of people are invested into it as well. It's going to help, I think,
Yes.
every industry. I mean, or rather, every organization in every industry, from the largest to probably the smallest. So, looking ahead, what are some of the biggest opportunities and challenges of integrating AI and HCM? So maybe we start with challenges so that we end on the positive note.
Yeah, the biggest, the only challenge is it's not big, right?
Yeah.
No challenge is big. The only thing which I could think in the negative flip side is probably a error in decision making when you have a predictive analytics provided, right? And you make a wrong decision because it's a learning data, right? And then it's going to
Yeah.
learn for a longer time. So you can be error in decision. But the thing is, we always say that AI is not a replacement for HI, right? Human
Correct.
intelligence. It's not a replacement for
Yeah.
human intelligence, right? And we cannot replace completely a human, right? We can
Hmm.
replace in where we can, right? We have replaced in quite a few places in our day-to-day life, but not everything. Chat GPT is
Right.
still called a guru more than a solution, right? So which
Yeah.
means what can it do is it can augment your ability, right, of decision making. It's just an addition for your decision making. You can be smarter with the, I mean, person A can be really smarter with chat GPT than person B. We all know that. Like, it's all about how we ask question, how much time you spend. And then it's going to support decision making. You have 10 stories provided by analysis, and you're just going to take better decision, but it's not going to give you a decision. That we have to understand, right?
Hmm.
And then there's another dimension I was thinking through as I was going through this preparation for this discussion, right? It is
Yeah.
building expertise directly and indirectly. When I said directly, the people who uses the AI within the HR system, like recruiters, employees, managers, etc., etc., etc. But
Yeah.
there's indirect build which is coming up is all those peripheral application we want. Now 80% of recruitment is with AI. Just imagine 80% of your recruitment process
That's
runs
huge.
by AI. That's
Hmm.
really huge, which means it is building up so many application on top of our standard recruiting to aid assessment or interview scheduling or etc., etc., so many things. So there are indirect expertise being built
Hmm.
to work along with the standard business processes, and quite a lot of indirect business right now. Workday is
Yeah.
integrating with quite a lot of AI based application. I've came across something called Genie, which helps in automated testing, and also finding out how the business process flows within a customer to improve the efficiency, right? Yeah, that's the flip side is only there, like it can be wrong,
Yeah.
right? It's not completely wrong, so we just have to change our mindset saying that okay, it's not going to give me always the final answer, it is going to give me the near answer, and I am the person responsible, accountable to take the good
Correct.
decision.
Correct. Absolutely. So, I mean, just to put this in very, very easy words, there's a supercar that is parked right in front of you, but you need to know how to drive
Exactly. I think
to make sure
right.
you enjoy the drive. Coming to the
Right.
positives of it, where are the biggest opportunities you see in AI, HCM, and how Workday is getting them together?
I mean, it, it is unlimited for me. I mean, I was trying to frame a right word for that. Like the AI is heading towards an unimaginable growth. The imagination is only the limit. The
Okay.
the size of the door which you are keeping it open is what the size of capability which AI can provide us. Right.
Fantastic.
We need to keep it
Yeah.
as open as possible. We
Hmm.
can be creative, um, providing a lot of scope across enterprise, right?
Hmm.
Across enterprise, across our standard living. But I'm sticking it to the HR's world itself. The biggest trouble each of the organization has is to motivate the employee population and retain them, right? And then
Yeah.
giving them growth, and then all of this are touched upon increasing the employee experience, having the skill gap analysis done and trying to upskill them, right? And then keep them motivated by all this personalized experience, right. I mean,
Right.
all are positives for my side.
Lovely. And I think this discussion can go on forever
Absolutely.
because we're just talking about one point, which is AI, but I'm sure with somebody like Lax on screen, there could be a million topics that are up for discussion. So for the audience, if you have any questions, please let them. Uh, you can always post them in comments, and we'll make sure that we take it to Lax or an expert who would be able to answer and get them back to you. Uh, so yeah, I mean we are towards the end, and just to add, there are a lot of possibilities. Uh, Workday in itself is a fantastic world to explore, but probably sometimes it might get difficult or it might get overwhelming because, like I said, the supercar is there, but you need to know how to drive. But if you don't know how to drive, there are people who can help you drive or to learn to drive as well. That's the role that Zeneesha plays. I mean, the somebody like Zeneesha who's been in the industry for around a decade and has helped small to large clients in getting their workday optimized, integrated, and helping them run it smoothly. Lax is one of them who's driving it from the front as well. Uh, and I'm sure that there's a lot to discuss on those lines. But I'll just leave you on that parting note. Uh, I mentioned it before as well. I'll have to leave you on that thought. AI is not here to replace humans. It's just there to enhance humans into probably what we are looking in films as superhumans. The superhumans are defined by the decisions that they take. AI is there to help you take decisions. Organizations like Workday are already there to make your life easy. What we do with it is up to us. So on that note, I'll leave you. We'll be doing a lot of these sessions going forward too. We hope that we enjoy your patronage and your wholehearted support. Uh, from all of us, thank you, Lux. Lux, it was fantastic hearing to your thoughts. They come from a very pure place, and I'm sure there's a lot to learn from you. We'll probably connect on a later date at a greater detail to understand what's happening in the world of Workday and in HCM in general from you.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you so much, Rishi, and thanks for Zenisha for this opportunity. I really enjoyed it.
Mhm. And for everyone who's watching line, thank you for taking the time out and putting in your efforts to make sure that you're watching this uninterruptedly. We had about 200 people who are watching today, which is a fantastic number given how busy we are. But it also shows how important learning is for all of us, and that's what helps us to keep growing and keep together as a family. On that note, thank you from on behalf of Zeneesha, and let's keep learning and sharing information as much as possible. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone.